virou vampiro. Não, você é um cara que não era vampiro, você era um médico. Um médico, um cirurgião. Aí você sofre um atentado, negócio de vampiro, aí você vira vampiro. Aí você começa a descobrir, querer descobrir por que você virou vampiro. Só que nessa que você vai descobrir por que você virou vampiro, você começa a ir encontrando casos de vampiros, entendeu? De gente morrendo e tal, não sei o que. Aí um maluco te cata lá e fala assim, pô irmão, tô vendo que você tá interessado. Então você quer me ajudar a investigar vampiro não? Aí você fica nessa, entendeu? Você vai investigando os casos de vampiro pra descobrir o que tá acontecendo na porra da cidade. O bichinho tá tipo um do Tensei aqui com o olho preto aqui. Tá na merda.
Ah, eles fizeram realidade revolta no PS4 também?
Fizeram igual pro GTA San Andreas e o Bully.
Massa. Ah, parece ser legal, só não pode ser igual um The Order, né?
Esse aqui? Não, esse aqui não tem como ser igual. Não tem como ser igual o The Order não, porque esse aqui é mapa aberto, é outra parada, entendeu? Outra visão de jogo. Não tem como ser igual não. Tem que entender, lembrar como é.
Valeu, depois eu te chamo então.
Show de
The
bola,
flower is
valeu.
dying.
Marcão.
It needs water.
E você pega, na verdade eu não sei nem se eu consigo fazer isso, porque depois eu tenho que comprar a DLC, né?
Do Blood?
É,
Não sei se eu comprei na sua conta. Eu não lembro.
não tá na minha conta não. Acho que você comprou naquela conta compartilhada.
Deve ter
The
sido.
flower is dying.
Mas por
It
que?
needs
O que você
water.
não consegue fazer? Que eu não entendi. O que você precisa da DLC?
Não, porque, tipo assim, se eu tiver com esse save e depois comprar a DLC, eu consigo jogar normal, né?
Consegue, pô. Consegue, eu não. Eu comprei a DLC do nada.
Então, foi o que eu perguntei, porque eu queria jogar a DLC.
Entendeu?
Passar raiva.
Uhum. Mas então
Dark
beleza.
Tale é com você?
Não, o Dark Tale tá emprestado.
Ah,
Tô comigo aqui o Dark 1 e o 2, que é de conta, né, se eu quiser.
o que falta pra mim é a DLC do Dark 3.
The
Não?
flower is dying.
Não, Dark 3 você zerou o DLC, pô.
It needs water.
Ah, não, pra mim Dark 3 na verdade falta só matar aquele dragão.
É, falta só matar o Midir.
Ah, o 2 deve zerar, né?
É, vida que segue, pô. Pô, mó rolezão só pra matar um boss, cara. Cê é louco.
Essa aqui eu tenho vontade de voltar a jogar o Dark 3, eu gostei muito do Dark 3.
O Dark 3 é maneirinho mesmo, eu gostei também.
Quer dizer, o último boss, as últimas da DLC é muito bom. Muito bacana de ver. Então, fechou então.
Beleza, mano, tamo junto.
Depois que resolver as coisas aqui.
É.
Valeu, bichinho.
Valeu, tô bem, tô tranquilo. Show, tá show, valeu, tamo junto.
Se quiser vir aqui durante a semana,
Tá, eu te falo, eu te falo.
traz seu PS4 que a gente faz algum.
Um surubom de jogo, vamos sim.
Já é.
Já é?
Valeu,
Valeu,
boa
valeu, tamo
semana.
junto.
Falou.
Valeu, beijo.
William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this... Keep on searching. The sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night. I have so much time now.
Pô, Dudu, foi mal, tá? Quem tava comigo aqui era o Lucas, aqui ele não tá compartilhando o áudio não. Esse jogo aqui é tipo um The Witch. Só que de um vampiro. É isso que eu tenho que fazer nessa buceta. Só que agora vai estar meio engasgado a live, porque tipo assim, eu tô tentando entender o jogo primeiro, né? É mais fácil quando a gente for fazer live de jogo que a gente já conhece, né? Que aí a gente já joga mais tranquilo. Agora eu tô aprendendo a jogar essa porra ainda. É uma merda.
Dr. Swansea
I
asked me to
cannot
connect
enter.
you, Dr. Reed. Hurry up.
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
What type of hospital are you running? No antiseptics?
You have been away too long, Doctor. With the war and now this epidemic, supplies have been running scarce for months now.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off.
Ó, rapaziada, tô ficando quieto que eu tô lendo a legenda ali, tá?
It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way then. Thank you, nurse.
Bem-vindos a Londres antiga, de 1900 e qualquer coisa. Como assim, maneiro, um game de vampiro atual? Não entendi. Atual no sentido de ser da nova geração ou atual no sentido de ser achar o jogo atual? É, dois lados da moeda, né? Porque é muito difícil ter jogo de vampiro também, né? Em jogos, né? Tipo, The Witch tem a DLC do vampiro, Skyrim tem a DLC do vampiro e yara. Outros jogos também tem coisa de vampiro. Agora, fazer jogo de vampiro é meio difícil mesmo de ter. O necrotério do jogo tá tudo sacaneado, mano. Realmente, não tem muito jogo de vampiro mesmo, não. Depende, mano. Talvez não fosse tão da hora assim.
as popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate.
But.
That might prove itself.
Caralho, mano, é inglês britânico é muito feio, mano. Vai tomar no cu. Oi, vampiro, do nada, dentro do hospital. Toma, toma. Fica esperto. Toma. Toma. Toma.
Behavior is similar to the infected William Bishop. Must be the same strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza. It's locked.
Aquela explorada, aquele negócio.
This key will surely grant me access to the basement.
Uma chavezinha pra acessar o porão. É o que você tá poucas, irmão? Caralho. Tô na merda.
I cannot enter.
Porra. Esse bicho não corre não, mano. Onde eu vou correr nesse jogo? A bola. Shellings. Pá, não sei o que lá, negocinho. Andando aqui, meu corpo. Por cima não tem nada. Vamos correr. Correr, fazer o cardiozinho. Aí, que doideira, hein? Que isso. Que doideira, hein, rapaziada. Tomei um sustinho real. Qual foi? Caralho, mano, é um jogo escurão, bicho. Tomar no cu. Tô vindo aqui, eu acho. Essa porta aqui não lembro que tava aberta, não. Não nada pra explorar aqui não, mano. É pegar um negocinho diferenciado. Apertei pra sair da parada, né? Porra do burro, capeta. Se eu não conseguir dormir... Ai, ai, que demora pra carregar, bicho. Como é que pode? Voltamos, só que a gente vai ter que entrar de novo. Porque o capeta do gordo burro aqui não... Nota pública. Cubra tosses e espirros com lenço Ande para o trabalho, não cuspa, beba do seu próprio copo, evite multidões, em caso de doença recomenda-se repouso e visita médica. Caralho, mané. A gripe espanhola era um Covid. Como é que pode? Se passa na época da gripe espanhola, só pra lembrar vocês aí que tá assistindo. Você, né, Dudu, que tá assistindo. Que é tipo uma Covid que teve uns tempo atrás aí. Foi foda também. Morreu gente pra caralho. Vocês podem falar Covid no vídeo que... Da banda, daquela porra lá, como é que é o nome? Strike. Foda-se. Conhece a gripe espanhola? Então tá bom então. Vou descer aqui pro porão aqui que já tá pouco assustador. Isso aí.
These skulls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. They're not after.
Queria lembrar como é que faz pra poder beber o sangue da galera, mano. Tem que quebrar a guarda dele. Olha que quase. É legalzinho, pô, é legalzinho. É um pouco atrapalhado, meio duro, mas é porque eu também tô acostumado com os jogos que são muito instantâneos, né? Tipo, você bate muito rápido. Mas é maneirinho pra caralho. Ó, você dá aqui um léu-léu aqui de vampiro, sou vampiro. Só uma facadona. Umas esquivas de vampiro. Um porradinho de vampiro. Deve ter um negócio também que você absorve a alma da pessoa, sei lá que porra que é. Deve se fazer uma paradinha maneirinha também. Um prato de ferro. Tá, deixa eu voltar. Frasco de vidro. Gente morta.
Mr. Connor's injuries don't match the report. Multiple abrasions and scarring on the arms and legs. Old and distinctive injuries of a sailor or a fisherman. Traces of a pinkish foam at the corner of the lips. Some sort of drug overdose, perhaps? The chest was originally opened to perform the operation. The sutures are clean, but the chest has been reopened. A puncture over the left lung, Possibly a chest tube insertion. Not the cleanest work, but I think it was successful. Signs of internal bleeding. So, Dr. Tippett's anesthetics were incorrectly dosed, causing the patient's death. And then, he tried to operate on him again. Tippett has made an egregious error. It's time we talked.
Você viu o anime do The Witcher? Vi que lançou, né? Mas não vi episódio nenhum, não. Você viu algum episódio? Se tu viu, fala pra mim aí. Não é barata tanto, não. Entrando de porta em porta. Ué, é boys? Caralho. Caralho, minha vida, mané. Morri. Depois eu vou ver. Caralho, mano, eu morri. De um jeito muito besta que eu morri, mano. Não é possível, bicho. Eu vou ter que arrumar meu quarto, bicho. Guarda uma bagunça. Caralho, sou da onde, filho da puta? filho da puta.
These skulls can be so ferocious. I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger. To drink blood is so tempting.
Precário, mané. Deixa eu sair daqui dessa porra. Necrotério aqui igual do Asilo Arca, mano. Massa. Sair fora dessa porra. Uma punhetação mental sem fim. Opa. Voltou e eu tô aqui mexendo no celular igual um idiota. agora que eu entendi. O L1 é... Não tem necrotério por aqui. Cadê o cara que eu tenho que falar?
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself. You're selling guns to civilians.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful. We lack everything. And it's getting worse every day.
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess. I'll bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. Most of the time.
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
It sounds like things have been a bit rough recently. What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing in. I escaped through the hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital. That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before, at the Rockefeller University in New York.
Dr. Tippett's, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now.
What is the Pembroke Hospital?
This hospital is not exactly the best of London.
It's not exactly the best situation, and
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not...
what can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slop.
Tell me more about cherished people, then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever...
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Any opinion about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve.
Ah, yes, the burden of command.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator.
Tell me more about...
Nurse,
You really...
I'll go...
What is the Pembroke...
This hospital...
It's not...
Don't be...
Corcoran, I want you to tell me about Mr. Connor. How did he die? What happened?
He was my patient. He died because of my mistake. That's the blunt truth.
What was the nature of the mistake?
It was a twofold error.
Solid.
My diagnosis was wrong, and the administered dosage was too strong.
Who was this patient?
I don't know. Some sick man from the docks, maybe a fisherman. I had no time to talk with him. No one claimed a body.
Why not stop practicing?
Are you mad? I killed that man, I admit it, and it won't happen again. I have saved so many lives since then.
Do you need any medical assistance yourself, Doctor?
Come on, don't be ridiculous, dear colleague.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
This is no time for self-pity.
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to...
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't...
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised. But I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected note.
You must know, blood transfusions are...
How are things here?
not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible...
Não, pô, pode falar na paz.
An invisible enemy.
Tranquilo.
Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting.
Do you think this hot...
We are all...
not familiar with all the...
Brilliant professionals. Most of them.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak.
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me.
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
Is there anyone...
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippett. He should be a standard for us all here.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Why does Dr. Tippett claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he? Why does
If it wasn't...
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just...
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
Tell me what Dr...
If I had not covered up his error, Dr. Tippett would have been fired from this hospital. I could not let that happen.
You can't allow your emotions to dictate your conduct concerning patients, Nurse Brannigan.
Look around you, Dr. Reed. Do you really think we can afford to lose a brilliant practitioner like Dr. Tippett?
I can't say I approve of what you did. But as a field surgeon, I know that some situations require...
Rapaz, pra tentar entender a história do jogo, eu tô tendo que ler tudo com maior paciência, mano.
Must be our priority, so we can't afford to lose Dr. Tippett.
E é um jogo meio coisa mesmo, você tem que...
I've decided that I won't reveal Dr. Tippett's, shall we say, misdemeanor.
I'm so glad you share my point of view.
I hope you're right. This is a huge risk, but...
Dr. Tippett must regain his confidence. Please.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Perdi uma pista do maluco aqui, não sei qual é.
It's locked, all right. Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr. Swan...
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious.
You must get a hold of yourself.
Sorry, I'm exhausted.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
How long?
Or long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll...
You'd be surprised what dedication can achieve, Nurse Hawkins. In medicine, sometimes we're just a test result away from a miracle.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
How is the Pembroke staff?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation.
Why doesn't...
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned. Milton is not the chatty type.
Goodbye.
Pô, agora eu tô pegando a visão desse jogo, é tudo um lance de ficar conversando com os outros, poder saber sobre o outro e no final sair juntando as peças do quebra-cabeça, saber tipo, se alguém é vampiro, se alguém é... Leve medicamento para Dorothy Crane no quarto do paciente. Deixa eu levar isso aqui para Dorothy Crane aqui.
Finally, you've returned, Doctor. Did you find anything of value?
Yes, nurse.
You've worked your first miracle, Doctor. Now, this patient here needs immediate treatment.
Duty calls? When the storm has passed, I'll show you how to mix the remedy yourself with the same basic ingredients.
Many thanks, Doctor. When you've finished, you ought to report to Dr. Swansea in his office. He's been looking for you. Seemed pressing.
Só gente pra caralho pra conversar, bicho.
I'm alright.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No,
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone...
Yes,
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer.
How painful is your...
So painful I'd rather not talk at all.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to...
Not really. Yes, maybe. But I don't want to.
How painful...
So painful.
I'll let you get... Good evening, Mr. Goswick.
I'm okay.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk.
How painful...
So painful.
I'll let you get some...
Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening, madam.
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer.
What can you tell me about your...
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical...
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswell?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their future.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital.
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have...
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
I share your concern.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswell. Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. You're...
I see.
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more...
I'm a carpenter.
Are you satisfied with your treatment?
Well, it's clear...
I won't lie to you.
Are you sure you don't want...
In other circumstances, you would be right. Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Aykroyd.
What do you mean?
Tô curioso, quero saber o que aconteceu com
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you
o
later.
motorista, cara, que todo mundo odeia o motorista.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening.
Seta, good evening, minha pica.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
Só isso que eu quero saber, porque todo mundo odeia o motorista. Agora de crane. Milton. Eu vou lá falar com o cara da missão. Eu tô curioso, mano. Até de tomar um sanguinho. O maluco tá lá no segundo andar, mano.
I cannot enter.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea, but my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
I'm a dead man. I was murdered. Now I'm a murderer. Tell me how this is a gift.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
Thank you. But I'd rather you didn't speak so lightly about my...
Very well. I have a task for you.
Please. Go.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me...
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently...
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
Why, the Stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit. Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her. Look for someone impossibly delicate.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashbury is in.
Beleza, beleza, vai lá, vai lá, vai lá. Assiste pelo celular, pô.
Flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet lady of mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a vamp... The lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally this time. My name is Lady Ashbury. I remember you well, in spite of the brevity of our encounter.
Apologies. You've taken me by surprise. I'm very...
The pleasure is mine.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my question.
You must have countless questions, but I rather...
Have any of the patients given you...
These poor souls have so little left to live for.
The world would be a better place if it were cared for by women like you.
You make me blush. I am simply a necessary...
Pardon my boldness.
As a newborn, your hunger for answers is rivaled only by your thirst for...
I'm a scientist. My trade is in the deciphering of mysteries, and I need information to feed my mind.
I will gladly...
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter.
These past insufferable weeks.
What are your expectations?
As the newly appointed surgeon of this hospital, you are in an excellent position to ask innocent questions and deftly learn the identity of my blackmailer.
Who would be so foolish as to threaten you? A kindred spirit.
Even if it were the case, and I highly doubt it, a vampire would have asked for something more valuable than money.
If we're dealing with an ordinary criminal, surely you've the means to deal with it yourself, if I may.
As immortal tradition doth dictate, all fangs and hypnotic eyes ablaze, the blood would run like a river. That's what I hope to avoid. Violence has a tendency to spiral out of control.
Please continue. Every detail is essential. I'm your man.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame at having put the hospital at risk. The threat from our anonymous scoundrel is clear. A list of dates. My visits coinciding with the dates of suspicious patient deaths due to massive blood loss.
I'll take care of it.
If that was the...
I'll meet that woman.
My life...
Right.